at your health headlines. Doctors at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston say A is for apple. Studies suggest an apple a day may help prevent cancers of the throat and mouth, colon, lung, and possibly breast. Apples contain a nutrient called quercetin. It's important to eat them with their raw skin on, not baked, in apple pies that may be loaded with fat and sugar. And B is for berries, especially cranberries. Nutritionists at Dana-Farber tell their patients to eat cranberries as often as possible. The fruit contains benzoic acid, which may inhibit the growth of lung cancer, colon cancer, and some forms of leukemia. Fresh cranberries can be frozen for later use and still retain their nutritional value. Finally, C is for colorful foods. In fact, nutritionists say the brighter and richer the pigment on a fruit or vegetable, the higher the level of healthy cancer-fighting nutrients. Beets, carrots, kale, squash, and sweet potatoes are all good examples. The folks at Dana-Farber suggest roasting them or mixing them into soups for variety. Well, in spite of some unkind words from his classmates, an 11-year-old boy has worked for nearly 2 years to give a gift to a stranger. Leanne Mormon explains his personal mission.
11-year-old Cole Griesman has been growing his hair out for over a year and a half now.
I like it because help keeps you warm in the winter.
But for every positive, the harsh reality is negative a lot too.
And they call me a girl and stuff, and it's really disrespectful to me and my family.
The kids at school pick on Cole for his long hair, but nothing seems to waver him from his mission.
Last chance to back out.
No.
No matter what people say, Cole has been persistently growing his hair to donate it to a charity that makes hair pieces for children with cancer. It's called Wigs for Kids. Today is his big haircut. His dad standing by proud and taking photos to document the big moment. The whole reason for the donation:
2 years worth of work.
To honor Cole's mother, Joan. She died of colon cancer when he was just 3 months old.
I see a lot of her in him every day.
After several snips and cuts.
Ready?
No. Oh, geez, I look weird.
Cole seems to miss the long hair a little bit, but with the awkward feeling comes a feeling of accomplishment, knowing that this tribute to his mother will carry on and help other kids his age who are coping with a lot more than unkind words from classmates.
That was Leanne Mormon reporting. Remember to like us on Facebook so you can vote on our Facebook story of the day. Just go to our CNY Central Facebook page. Well, there is much more ahead on NBC3 News at 5:30. You may have noticed that one of the only businesses open today is the movie theater. Well, that's because Christmas has become a popular holiday for releasing the critically acclaimed films of the year. And if you missed our hour-long special about Mother Mary Ann Cope's journey to sainthood, you can catch it again. Our Mother Mary Ann special is coming up at 6 right here on NBC3. And for other viewing times, visit our website, cnycentral.com.
It seems to go on forever, this massive public building that hasn't been open to the general public in a long time.
When the building opened in 1912, the New York Times called it one of the 10 most beautiful buildings in the world.
To mark the centennial of the State Education Building, tours will be given so New Yorkers can once again see the beauty of its soaring rotunda, Chancellor's Hall, or the old State Library.
It's a great honor for us to show the building.
Andrew Sloan Draper, the first State Education Commissioner, pushed for the construction of the striking colonnade across the street from the Capitol. He wanted a building that was reflective of the stature of his newly formed department.
Make it apparent to any observer that something critical and important was going to be happening inside this building.
For years, it was home to the State Library and Museum. It bustled with activity and the sounds of school kids on class trips. But in the mid-1970s, this changed. The library and museum moved to a new building. Offices now occupy much of that space.
They're seeing this space completely renovated for the first time.
Interest in the tours has been high.
People who tour the building are astonished at the grandeur of the place.
For more information on seeing this grand structure, visit the New York State Education Department website. At the State Education Building in Albany, I'm Jim Folletti.
And a very good Tuesday evening to you once again. Merry Christmas to everybody tuned in. I'm CNY Central First Alert Meteorologist Matt Stevens. Want to show you that we do have some weather alerts to pass along to you, as we do have an impending storm system coming up starting tomorrow afternoon and persisting through Thursday evening as I currently see it. These are the winter storm warnings we have up, and it's not often we see this, but the entire viewing area is under a winter storm warning Wednesday afternoon through Thursday afternoon. The reason for it, a system that's currently perched out in the lower Mississippi Valley, expected to churn up through the Tennessee Valley tonight and be up in the Ohio Valley by first thing tomorrow morning, arriving here in central New York, I feel, by late tomorrow afternoon and especially tomorrow evening. In the short term, though, we're pretty quiet. Temperatures are in the 20s on the triple Doppler radar. We are clean and free of any precipitation, but watch what happens when you factor in the wind chills. It feels more like 13 here in Syracuse, 16 in Fulton, and 18 degrees over in Rome and Utica. Officially hit a high of 29 today at the Syracuse Hancock Airport, with just shy of 2 inches of snow picked up. So for the snowfall season, we're up to about 16.3 inches of snow. That's still a pretty significant deficit. That's less than half the snow we would typically have by this part of the snowfall season. Satellite and radar picture confirms in the short term, nothing major going on, just a few odd clouds here and there. Otherwise, you can probably tell the leading edge of the clouds from that next system, currently located out over western and central PA, and you can actually see the precipitation stemming well down on the lower left-hand side of your screen. That's the system of interest that's heading up in our direction. So, hour by hour through this evening, we'll call it temperatures in the low 20s down to about 20 by 11 o'clock, bottoming out in the teens, mid-teens we'll call it for the greater Syracuse area. Just a few extra clouds drifting in by tomorrow morning. So looking ahead to that next system of interest, Wednesday evening through Thursday evening, a very tough forecast. This is a very preliminary forecast, looking for 5 to 10 inches of snow in that light shading, 10 to 16 in the deep blue shading. Dora?
Thank you, Matt. Well, now at 5:30, there's new information tonight on the Webster fire investigation and new details about the man responsible for yesterday's fire and shooting. This afternoon, police found human remains in the home of the man who killed 2 firefighters and injured 2 others. Police believe it's William Spangler's sister, who lived with him and has been missing since yesterday's fire. And the rescue mission doesn't take a break for the holidays, and today served the community, providing thousands of people with a special Christmas dinner. And a sick day at home turns out to be a lifesaver. We have the story of the 8-year-old boy who did CPR on his mother and called 911 after she collapsed and stopped breathing. But first, our top story at 5:30 tonight. Webster police held a news conference today revealing new information about yesterday's deadly ambush. Police say the man responsible for luring firefighters and then shooting them, William Spangler, left behind a typewritten note saying he was going to, quote, do what I like doing best, killing people, end quote. Police are now saying 7 houses in total were burned by the fire started by the 62-year-old. The remains of Spangler's sister were discovered this afternoon. The Webster shooting raises new concerns for local central New York firefighters, who are now adding another risk to their long list of dangerous duties. The motto at the Cicero Fire Department is "Fear is not an option," and they're using the Webster tragedy as an opportunity to learn how to prepare for another danger.
Now, on top of everything else that we got to think about, we got to worry about, is somebody there willing to hurt myself as a first responder or the other fire department members and the police officers that arrive with me.
The Cicero Fire Department is planning to do more training on safety and awareness. The firefighters are also hoping the shooting in Webster lets people know more about the dangers all first responders face. Police say a man is dead and an officer is wounded after a police shootout in Binghamton. Police say they received a call about 2 suspicious men on the Memorial Street Bridge early this morning. When police arrived, one of the suspects opened fire and the officers fired back. One of the suspects was killed. An officer was treated and then released from the hospital. Police haven't released any identities thus far. Well, in response to the recent outbreak of gun violence, the Ithaca Police Department and Tompkins County Sheriff's Office will hold a gun buyback on January 5th. The goal is to help reduce the availability of guns on the streets. Anyone who brings a gun will receive cash for the weapon, for up to a total of 3 guns. You'll be able to bring your guns to 2 locations, the Ithaca Fire Department and the Tompkins County Airport Fire and Rescue Building. It's Christmas Day and the rescue mission doesn't skip a beat. This marks 125 years that the organization has served up a Christmas dinner to those in need. The mission doesn't ask questions. Anyone is allowed to come inside and wait for staff members to bring out a meal. Turkey, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce were just a few of the items on today's menu. Looking good. Nicholas Wentworth stopped by for a meal today and says he's lucky to be part of such a giving community.
Feels blessed. I mean, it's a great thing to have around for people who are in desperate need, having a hard time finding a place to live in the winter. I mean, you could be outside freezing to death, but you could be in here. You can be safe. You know that there's people out there trying to help you if you wish to seek for help.
The mission also put some volunteers to work bringing meals to those who just couldn't make it to the rescue mission today. Presents, eggnog, family visits, but now what? How about a movie? Some of the year's most anticipated movies were released today, so you had an excuse to avoid cleaning up all that wrapping paper. Well, here's Raphael Seth with a look at this week's box office preview.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
Theater's longest-running musical gets a bigger stage in Les Miserables. Oscar-winning director Tom Hooper is at the helm of this adaptation, with Anne Hathaway getting raves as Fantine. Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, and Amanda Seyfried are also among the cast, telling the story of broken dreams and lost love in 19th century France. Les Miserables is rated PG-13.
You kill people, and they give you a reward.
Jamie Foxx gets a license to kill in Django Unchained. Foxx plays a Southern slave freed 2 years before the Civil War. He's released into the custody of a bounty hunter played by Christoph Waltz, who needs Django to identify a couple of killers. Once that job is done, Foxx and Waltz go after Leonardo DiCaprio, who may own the deed to the wife Django lost at a slave auction. Django Unchained is rated R.
It's an omen.
What's it an omen of?
Impending doom.
Bette Midler and Billy Crystal babysit the grandkids in Parental Guidance. But their old school rules don't fly with helicopter mom Marissa Tomei or anyone else in today's Everyone's a Winner society. So the grandparents learn it's the sacrifices you make, not the stand you take, that keeps a family together. Parental Guidance is rated PG.
Tractor pulls, cow tipping.
Matt Damon tries to tip the balance of power in Promised Land. A small town has been hit hard by the economic downturn, so it should be easy as pie for Damon to buy out all those poor farmers so his company can drill for gas. But when everything on John Krasinski's farm starts dying, the town rallies around a grassroots campaign to fight the corporation. Promised Land is rated R. That's the box office preview. Raphael Seth, NBC News.
The Regal Cinemas at Destiny USA opened at 11 o'clock this morning for anyone ready to leave all the wrapping paper behind and do something fun outside of the house. Les Miserables, recently nominated for 4 Golden Globes, was the big attraction at the movie theater, drawing in people who normally wouldn't go to the movies on Christmas.
I've seen the plays over the years, and now to see a cinematic interpretation of it with that cast, there was no way I wasn't going to see it.
I came out because I love Les Mis because it's one of my favorite musicals, and
Other big movies opening today include Django Unchained and Parental Guidance. Christmas Day is usually one of the most popular days of the year for movie releases. Well, we are pleased to bring you the stories of this year's Red Cross Real Heroes, including a remarkable little boy who saved his mother's life. Here's the story in their own words.
Here's how you make a helmet.
Let me tell you why my son, Austin Blantz, is a hero in my eyes.
This is a mine that we started in a farm.
Austin is amazing. He's the best kid in the universe. He's just the most amazing kid I could ever imagine.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a little about Minecraft.
One day back in April, Austin wasn't feeling well that morning.